You saved $78 million for a Gulfstream G700, but the salespeople forgot to mention the hidden costs that hit after delivery. We're revealing what nobody tells you. Let's dive in. Fixed costs breakdown. The G700 starts at approximately $78 million, though most buyers spend closer to $85 million after options and customization. Fixed costs hit your account whether the G700 sits in the hangar or flies 500 hours. These are the expenses Gulfstream's sales team mentions briefly, then moves past quickly. Crew salaries. Your first surprise is crew costs. The G700 demands 2 full-time pilots, and these aren't regional airline captains looking for side work. You need experienced pilots with Gulfstream-type ratings, commanding approximately $175,000 to $250,000 each, annually including salary, benefits, and taxes. That's $350,000 to $500,000 per year for both pilots before you've flown a single hour. Add mandatory recurrent training at approximately $15,000 per pilot annually. Factor in travel expenses when your crew positions the aircraft empty, uniforms and accommodation costs during layovers. The real number? Closer to $400,000 annually for a 2-pilot crew. Some owners hire a 3rd pilot for scheduling flexibility. That adds another $200,000 to annual costs. Insurance. Insurance for an $85 million jet runs approximately $110,000 to $160,000 per year. This includes hull insurance covering the aircraft itself and liability insurance protecting you from lawsuits. Here's what dealers don't emphasize. If you're a low-time owner pilot, expect premiums at the high end or higher. If you're a first-time jet owner, some insurers won't cover you at all without significant restrictions. Corporate owners with professional crews pay less, but that hull value means your insurance bill rivals what most people pay for their entire home. And here's the kicker. As you add custom upgrades and the jet appreciates, your insurance premium climbs accordingly. Hangar fees. Leaving an $85 million jet outside isn't an option. Hangar costs shock new owners because they vary dramatically by location. At Teterboro or Van Nuys, you're paying $8,000 to $12,000 monthly for climate-controlled hangar space. That's $96,000 to $144,000 annually just for parking. Smaller regional airports might offer space for $4,000 to $6,000 monthly, but you sacrifice convenience. Some owners negotiate long-term leases for better rates. Others join partnerships to share space. Either way, you're spending 6 figures annually just to keep the jet protected. Maintenance programs. Here's what shocks first-time buyers. Gulfstream's recommended maintenance programs cost approximately $350,000 to $450,000 annually. These programs cover scheduled inspections, component overhauls, and predictable maintenance. The sales team frames these as optional, but skip them and you're gambling with potentially catastrophic surprise expenses. Engine programs alone run $200,000 per year, covering the inevitable overhauls these Rolls-Royce Pearl 700 engines need every 4,000 flight hours. Spread that $1 million-plus engine overhaul across those hours, and you understand why the program makes sense. Airframe programs add another $150,000 to $200,000 annually. These programs are technically optional. Practically, they're mandatory if you want to protect your investment and maintain resale value. Management companies. Most owners quickly discover they need professional management, coordinating pilots, scheduling maintenance, handling permits, and international flight planning. It's a full-time job. Management companies charge approximately $100,000 to $150,000 annually, or around 3 to 5% of total operating costs. They handle everything from crew payroll to insurance renewals to aircraft positioning. Some wealthy owners attempt to self-manage initially, then hire management within the first year after discovering the complexity. This cost wasn't in the sales brochure, but it's essential for most owners. Total fixed costs. Add it all up: crew at $400,000, insurance at $130,000, hangar at $120,000, maintenance programs at $400,000, and management at $125,000. That's approximately $1,175,000 annually in fixed costs. You pay this whether you fly 50 hours or 500 hours per year. The jet can sit idle for months, and these bills still arrive. This is the baseline cost of ownership nobody emphasizes during the sale. And those are just the fixed costs. Wait until you see what it costs every time you actually fly. Variable costs. Breakdown? Variable costs hit every time you fly. The more you use the G700, the faster these expenses accumulate. Fuel costs. Fuel costs destroy budgets because they're both massive and volatile. The G700 burns approximately 470 gallons per hour at typical cruise speeds. With Jet A currently averaging $5.50 per gallon, that's $2,585 per flight hour just for fuel. If you fly 300 hours annually, reasonable for an owner-flown jet, you're spending $775,000 per year on fuel alone. Here's what dealers don't mention. Fuel prices fluctuate wildly. When crude oil spikes, your operating costs jump 20 to 30% overnight. That's $775,000 can become $1 million in high-price years. Some sophisticated owners hedge fuel costs through futures contracts, but most simply absorb the volatility and adjust their budgets accordingly. Maintenance reserves. Beyond those maintenance programs, set aside an additional $600 to $800 per flight hour for maintenance reserves. This covers repairs, part replacements, and wear items that programs don't cover. That fading paint? $400,000 to repaint. Worn interior? $300,000 to refurbish. Avionics upgrades? $200,000 minimum. These aren't hypothetical, they're inevitable. At 300 flight hours annually, you're adding $180,000 to $240,000 in maintenance reserves. Smart owners budget conservatively here because surprises always cost more than estimates. Landing and handling fees. Every airport charges landing fees based on the G700's maximum takeoff weight of 107,600 pounds. FBOs add handling fees for services like fueling, ground support, and hangar space during stops. Expect to pay $350 to $800 per landing on average. Major international airports like London Heathrow or Tokyo Narita charge significantly more, sometimes thousands per landing. At 300 annual flight hours, averaging one landing per hour, that's $105,000 to $240,000 annually in fees. Small expenses that accumulate into six figures. Catering and cabin service. In-flight catering ranges from $200 for basic refreshments to $2,000 or more for full catering with premium wines and chef-prepared meals. Most owners average $500 to $800 per flight. At 300 flight hours annually, that's $150,000 to $240,000 spent on food and beverages. Add cabin supplies, cleaning services after each flight, and specialized services, and you're easily at $200,000 annually. Total variable costs. Total variable costs for the G700 run approximately $3,500 to $4,200 per flight hour, all in. At 300 flight hours annually, that's $1,050,000 to $1,260,000 per year in variable expenses. Fly more hours, these costs climb proportionally. Fly fewer hours, variable costs decrease. But remember, those $1,175,000 in fixed costs remain unchanged.